Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. It is 2:42 p.m. Thanks for joining us for this afternoon update. I'm Rika Mutteraj in the KHOU 11 newsroom, and as always, these are the stories you guys are clicking on KHOU.com. Let's take a look. It was a very sad start to the day for so many people. Family, friends, and even strangers got to say goodbye to 7-year-old Abigail Arias. She was an officer, Freeport officer, during her funeral at Grace Church in Southeast Houston. This has been a painful week for friends and family and really all of law enforcement. As you can imagine, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Freeport Police Chief Ray Garrive, who swore her in as an officer a few months ago, delivered a heartfelt eulogy for this little girl, saying even while dealing with terminal cancer, she always wanted to make other people smile. So many of you really got to know her through our stories because she just had a life that inspired so many people. She passed away last week, and of course, we're going to have more on today's funeral services coming up on the 411. All right, guess who's coming to church this Sunday? Kanye West. He's going to be at Lakewood Church at 11 a.m. This Sunday. 2 weeks ago, Joel Osteen extended an invitation to the rapper/designer to asking him, hey, come attend my church. Kanye expected to take the stage with Pastor Osteen for a short interview early in the service, again, the 11 a.m. service. Church officials could not confirm if Kanye West's Sunday service choir will be performing. That's been something that's been pretty popular on his social media platforms. Kanye released his gospel-inspired album, Jesus is King, on October 25th. You know what Kanye loves is more than himself, a big audience. He's got 50,000 people who attend Lakewood Church, who they're going to probably pack the house this Sunday. And of course, you have those millions of people who watch Joel Osteen's televised sermons every week. And the service is seen in more than 100 countries. So big, high-profile audience here. Quite a big audience for him. Let's talk about the weather and take the time tonight to cover your plants, your exposed pipes, bring in the pets. It's better to be safe than sorry because it's only going to get colder, right, David Paul?
It is going to be very, very cold tonight. Colder temperature-wise overnight tonight and Wednesday morning than it was last night and early this morning, but the difference will be the wind is going to settle down as we head into the nighttime hours. So windy overnight. Gusts, in fact, these are some of the strongest gusts that we measured across the area. Galveston had a gust of 51 miles an hour. Now remember, tropical storm force winds begin at 39 miles an hour. So these gusts, and even sustained at times, well above tropical storm force. Palacios had a gust of 52. Bay City, 45 mile an hour gust. Rosenberg, even in Fort Bend County, gust to 45. Houston Hobby Airport had a gust to 43. So wind was one of the major factors. You felt it last night, had some power outages across the area. My lights at my house flickered more than once late last night. This is what we woke up to this morning. Conroe did get a freeze at 32. Huntsville froze 31. Brenham 32. The rest of us were above freezing. Bush had a low of 35. Hobby 36. Sugar Land had a morning low of 35. Temperatures normally lows in the upper 40s, low 50s, so way below normal. Right now it's 47 degrees. So the normal high this time of the year is 74. So 47, 50, 60, we're almost 30 degrees below normal right now for our afternoon high temperature, and this is our high temp right now. That is astounding. That is like 2-3 standard deviations outside of the norm. The record high low temperature for this day was set on this day in 1907 at 44 degrees. So we just barely have gotten above the record low high temperature. And tonight, when we go down to the 20s, we're going to threaten, I think we will break a record set back on this on tomorrow's date in 1907. So a 100-year record is going to fall tonight as far as low temps. This is the 24-hour temperature change. I mean, it's 37 degrees colder in Palacios right now than it was yesterday at this time. Almost 40 degrees colder over a 24-hour period. That is amazing for Southeast Texas. Houston's 27 degrees colder, Hobby's 30, Angleton is 33 degrees colder than this time yesterday. Current temps, Conroe's at 43, Tomball's 43. It's 38 in Columbus right now. That's it. Amazingly low afternoon temperatures here for being so early in the month of November. And we're not the only ones that are flirting and probably going to set records today and tonight. Across the nation, it is so cold, hundreds of records are going to fall over the country tonight and tomorrow. Winds are still blowing out there, sustained at 13 at Houston Bush Intercontinental, sustained at 15 at Sugar Lands Airport. Hobby's got a sustained wind at 20. Galveston sustained at 22 out of the north. It's gusting to 25 at times, still uncomfortably cold in the wind. But the wind forecast takes us into late tonight and a little bit past midnight. Here's 1:30 a.m. Winds are going to settle down significantly, below 10 miles an hour inland, still 14, 15, 18 on the coast. But that lightening up of the winds actually is a factor in how cold we're going to get tonight. When the winds settle down, it allows radiational cooling, and we end up getting colder because the winds let up. We were actually warmer last night than we could have been because the wind was so strong. And so that has prompted a couple of things. Hard freeze watch, northern counties, Montgomery County, northward, Conroe, Montgomery, Magnolia, Livingston, Woodlands, you're included in that, up into Polk, San Jacinto County, Madison County, Houston County, College Station, Navasota. You guys are all on that hard freeze watch. What does that mean? It means we expect temperatures in this area could drop below 24 degrees for more than 2 hours. Houston is in the darker blue. That's a freeze warning. It just means, hey, first freeze of the season is tonight. After this, we'll have freezing temps from time to time, but we won't get a freeze warning. We just do that for the first freeze of the season. And it's in effect from 9 o'clock tonight to 9 o'clock Wednesday morning. We may be below freezing for many, many hours in the Houston area. So again, the hard freeze warning for the northern counties, protect plants and landscaping. But the hard freeze warning, remember, these warnings were first written and conceived of 100 years ago. So it has a lot to do with protecting livestock and agriculture. It's for farmers who have cattle and crops to protect. That's the genesis of the hard freeze watch and warning. So what you're supposed to do in those counties, if you have livestock, you should feed them. It's going to be dry. You can feed them and leave them out. They'll be okay. If it's a wet freeze, then you got to bring them in. And cattlemen know all about this. But because it's a dry freeze tonight, just feed them, leave them out. They'll be all right. Protect crops. This is cold enough where it could damage if you have anything out there in the fields. Sometimes they'll lay mats over some of the vegetation out there, the farmers and agriculture folks will, to protect them. And it's exposed irrigation pipes and outdoor plumbing that could be impacted by the freezing temps. House pipes should be fine. We really need to get into the teens for lows and be in the teens for 7-8 hours to even begin to threaten pipes, water pipes in your home being impacted. So you're urged to protect irrigation and outdoor plumbing in the northern counties tonight. As far as the Houston area goes, this is the freeze warning for Houston. Temps will begin to get below freezing, possibly between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. So it's a long stretch of freezing temps tonight. You want to protect plants, pets, make sure they're fed, have shelter, or bring them in. And of course, the people need to be protected, as this is very uncomfortable and dangerous for folks who are outside. And you also, if you have a sprinkler system and you've got one of those PVC Venturi pipes that comes up and out of the ground, has that valve, that backflow valve, that you want to wrap, because that could be frozen and that one could crack. I've got a sprinkler system and that thing cracks all the time. I drain it and I cover it up. It's just a little plastic pipe that comes out of the ground. So outdoor plumbing and irrigation, again, you want to protect the outdoor stuff. Your pipes in your home should be fine. It's just not cold enough to impact them. Future track temps. So going into 5 o'clock this evening, 40s, where we are now, even 30s out there in Columbus now. So by 10 o'clock tonight, we'll begin to see freezing temperatures in our northwest counties. College Station down to freezing by 10 o'clock. Still in the 30s, but above freezing, I think, in Harris County by 10 p.m. Computers begin to drop Harris County, Bush, Tomball, Sugarland, Pearland, West Columbia, Bay City. So Alvin, Pearland, Friendswood, you guys are included in that. Angleton by 2:30. Computers say we're freezing. So between 2:30 and 6 a.m., 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 4 or 5 hours below freezing in Harris County at that point. And then sometime between 6 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, temperatures will get back above freezing in the immediate Houston-Harris County area. Still freezing in Livingston at 8:30 tomorrow morning. And then we'll rebound and we'll have a warm up into the upper 40s. Computers say we make 50 at Bush and Pearland and Sugarland. I really think we're going to only be in the upper 40s again tomorrow afternoon, but maybe we'll touch 50. Again, normal high is 74, so way below normal. This is really, really unusual. So if you're watching last night and yesterday, it looked like we may have a little bit of sleet or freezing rain. This is what the radar looked like going back to 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and we did have echoes returned showing very light sleet. I know we had some snowflakes. We had some icing in central Texas. We had some snowflakes in Brownsville. we had this falling out of the cloud base. It was actually sleeting out of the cloud base, but you see the pink and the white there that came across this morning. But because the air was so dry, almost all of that evaporated before it could reach the ground. It's called virga. Quite often it happens that way. So that's why when we saw that setup coming, that's why like even if we get some sleet, we don't expect any problems on the roadways, and there were none. Zooming out, this is interesting. Look at the plume of moisture coming out of the Pacific and into West Texas. So this will throw a deck of high cirrus clouds over Texas tonight. And it remains to be seen how much that blanket of clouds will keep temperatures up overnight. That's the only real uncertainty in the temperature forecast tonight. If those clouds stay thick over Houston, we won't be quite as cold. If they thin out, we'll be colder. And we'll just have to wait and see how that plan pans out. But one thing I think will happen tonight with that high ice, cirrus clouds, those high ice crystals overhead, is that it may be a night where we get that beautiful ring around the moon that looks eerie and beautiful. It takes a clear, cold night to get that with high cirrus clouds, and we may have those conditions tonight, so we'll watch for that. Talked about how cold it is across the country. These are current temperatures. It's 17 in Chicago, Des Moines, Iowa is 17, Louisville's 25, Nashville, Tennessee's 29 right now. It is brutally cold across such a huge chunk of the country, and it's in the upper Midwest that we're going to be setting record low high temps and record low temps for this time of the year. Remember, it's only the second week, the beginning of the second week of November. We're not even officially into winter yet, and this is a full-blown winter pattern for the country. So next 3 days, back here at home, I've got us 27 in Houston tomorrow morning, freeze warning. We rebound to 49, mostly sunny, some high cirrus clouds tomorrow. Tomorrow's gorgeous, but a full-blown winter day like we have outside right now. This is winter for Houston. This is a real winter day Houston style today and tomorrow. Still a winter day, even more so on Thursday with light rain widespread on Thursday. What are your plans Thursday? And staying in the 40s all day. 44 in the morning, 59 in the afternoon. Friday, we improve things. So we warm up going into Friday, but temperatures still way below the normal of 74. That's our normal statistical high this time of the year. Here's the full-blown extended. Winter today, winter Wednesday, winter on Thursday, winter on Friday, 59, and then we warm up into the 60s Saturday and Sunday, even Monday, but again, we ought to be in the low 70s. So temps warm up going into the weekend, but we stay way below normal. I love a good taste of winter. It makes the summers much more bearable. I hope you're enjoying this cold air as well. Protect the pets, the people, and the plants you want to save from a potential freeze. Bring them in or cover them up. And enjoy this taste of real full-blown winter so early in November. It's unusual to get this. We'll have an update at 4, 5, 6, and 10, and from time to time I will, on the TV side, check in and show you the jet stream pattern, talk how that's playing out. We'll see it on the 411 coming up at 4 o'clock on the TV side.